Fellow Hoosiers, now that the legislative session is over and we have a new 2-year budget, it's time that we have a frank conversation about our state's pocketbook. Based on his public comments during and after the session, I'm not sure Governor Pence realizes yet that he's no longer in a Republican-led Congress. In Indiana, it's written into our Constitution that we have to balance the budget. Governor Pence and his Republican friends like to talk about how their state budget is balanced, but they also like to talk about dozens of other things that haven't been funded as though they have been. 2 key examples: infrastructure and education. It's true that the latest state budget increased funding in both areas, but we're a far cry from where we need to be, and our schools and municipalities will continue to grapple with the chronic underfunding over the next 2 years. Meanwhile, Governor Pence insisted on ramming through an income tax plan that will net the average Hoosier around $55 per year. The total cost to the state? More than $500 million. Some of the smartest Republicans at the State House told him it was a bad idea, but the governor was more interested in the talking point than acting in the best fiscal interest of our state. Imagine if instead of pushing a plan that does very little for most of us, the governor had truly made infrastructure and education a priority. Our students would have access to the resources they need, and we might finally be able to finish many of the roads and highway projects promised to us by Governor Daniels. Republicans will say they did both. In a perfect world, with a strong economy, maybe we could have. But our economy remains fragile, and our future revenues are fairly uncertain. The reality is, our state budget has once again been balanced on the backs of local governments and schools, because unlike Governor Pence is used to, we have to pay for the things we want. The effects of underfunding critical state priorities don't show up overnight, but rather over time. Our students become less competitive with their peers in other states. Our teachers become fatigued by a chronic lack of resources. Our roads turn back to gravel. Our highways fall apart. Because we can't just print more money, so to speak, Governor Pence and State House Republicans had a choice to make between the things our state most needs and a gimmick that will do little for most Hoosier families and is unlikely to grow our economy. They chose the gimmick, and that will make all the difference for the future of Indiana. Thank you, and best wishes for a happy and safe Memorial Day weekend.